Hey, it's Craig. Today's video, which is video 6, is about doing an oil change on your BigHorn. This is something that the manual recommends to do every 30 hours. And for me, I think that probably equates to once a year. I might do it twice a year if I use it quite a bit, but I think for me, that's about a once a year thing. So here's what you will need to do your oil change. Of course, there's a 15W40 oil, which is the recommended oil. I'm using this Mobile product. I've always used Mobile 1 and had good results with it, but there are other brands you can find that should work just as well. I've got a 19mm socket with an extension on the wrench. You're going to need about an 8-inch extension to clear the brush guard on the bottom, a long funnel, and for me, I had to soak the drain plug with some penetrating oil. Even with Jim helping me, he's a lot stronger than me, he still couldn't break it free. So we tapped on it, put some penetrating oil, and then it came off pretty quick. This little red tool is something I printed on a 3D printer, and I'll explain that as we get into that part of the change. If you crawl underneath your BigHorn, you'll see the brush guard, and then we've got this opening here. On the front end, towards the front of the vehicle, is the drain plug, and you can see it right here. It's hard to see it as you're putting a wrench on it, but you can feel up in there with your hand and kind of get it started. And you may be able to see it from the side. I was able to get to it from the side to hit it with some of the oil. But once you get it broken free, you might want to undo it with your hand because it's not a lot of space between the bottom of the vehicle and your drain pan. So this is the drain plug. After you remove it, you'll see there's a little mesh screen that filters the oil in there. There is no oil filter on this engine, so when you put the plug back in, it goes back in like this, just threads in and tighten it back. There's a little O-ring on the bottom of the plug. You can check it, make sure that that's not cracked. This one's in good shape. So to add oil back to the engine after you've drained it, you have to remove the dipstick tube, fill the oil through that opening, and then reinstall the dipstick tube to check the oil level. So it seemed to me that having to reinstall the dipstick tube just to check the oil level was kind of a pain. You may have to do it more than once, and it just takes a few minutes to thread it back on there. So what I've done is I've created a 3D printed version of the tube just as a temporary piece. It's got the same diameter at the bottom. It's almost 1 inch wide at the bottom. It's got the same internal diameter on the tube part, and then it's the same exact length. So if you put your dipstick into that, you can just hold that temporarily in place, measure your oil level, and then add some more oil until you're happy, and then when you've got it where you want it, you can just reinsert the metal dipstick tube. This is what it would look like if you put the dipstick into the temporary tube, and then you would just set this down on the engine to check the oil level. So here's how you use the little tool I made. Just insert it on until it gets all the way flush with the opening, and then you pull it back out and check the oil level. So that was an easy job. Should take you maybe 15 to 30 minutes depending on how difficult it is to bust the drain plug loose. If you want to print the tool that I made, I've got a link to the file in the comments below, and you can grab that file, and if you have a 3D printer or if you know somebody that has it, you could get that printed. It might make your job a little easier. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later.